So I recently got an email from my college saying that my diploma is going to be mailed to me in May if I've successfully completed all of my classes. I really thought I was gonna walk on graduation day. But at this point, now I feel like I'm either gonna get my diploma via email or I'm about to graduate on FaceTime. But it was a joke. I was kidding. Well, at this point, I guess I'm getting my degree from the University of the United States Postal Services. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Vance back with another video. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Vance. I talk and vlog about personal finance made easy, lifestyle after college, and building the best mindset possible. And the purpose of this video is for me to persuade you into why you need to build a budget plan. If you've been locked up in the house like me, you know, for the past 2 months, you may have seen posts online talking about if you don't leave this quarantine with a new skill, a new hobby, then you're wasting your time during quarantine. Which I do agree with. So to do my part, I want to be able to persuade you guys into why you need to build a budgeting plan. A very important skill that I feel like a lot of us, especially younger adults, don't really know how to make. It's just one of those things on those list of skills that they don't teach you in school. And that's why I'm here to give you 5 reasons as to why you need to build a budgeting plan. But before we get started, make sure to dap up the like button down below and hit the subscribe button to stay updated with any new videos and future content that I put on this channel. Now, from my experience with helping my friends make their own budgeting plan, what I've found is that most people don't make budgeting plans because they're scared to look into their own finances. Now, why would someone be scared to make a budget? That just sounds crazy. Looking at important documents like bank statements, transaction history, income statements, any important financial document forces you to look into where your money is going and what kind of purchases are you making. And really ask yourself, were those purchases even worth it? But some people are just way too scared to look into their own finances. They accepted their spending habits and they continue to overspend each month because it was easier for them to do. What I'm trying to say is a budgeting plan is a great tool for anyone who's either overspending money or they don't keep track of their money. Anyone can and should have a budgeting plan because it helps you to keep track of where your money is going, how it's being spent, and you know exactly what you're doing with it. So let's just get into the first reason. So the first reason for why you need a budgeting plan, which is pretty obvious and I pretty much talked about, is to stop overspending each month. So here's a scenario for you. Let's say you're driving in a car, a nice car. The car represents your bank or wherever you store your money. Now let's say you fill that car up with gas. The gas represents your money. So you fill up your car with gas and you're driving everywhere. So now you're driving like you usually do, but then all of a sudden your car starts to slow down all the way to the point where it just stops running. You put your foot to the gas pedal and that car is not moving. So as a responsible driver you are, you check to look at your gas meter and to your surprise, the tank's empty. But I just filled my car. How's it empty? Now remember when I said how you filling up your car with gas is like you putting money into your bank? You driving around in your car is burning gas, which is like you spending your money is lessening your savings. The more driving you do, the less gas you have. Just like how the more money you spend, the less money you're able to save. So now from all this driving around, you never looked at your gas tank once. You were so focused on going to all these places, you never not once looked at your gas meter. And since you didn't look at your gas meter, you couldn't tell that you were running low on gas. A budgeting plan is just like a gas meter. It lets you know and it visualizes for you how much savings or how much money you have available. If you don't know how much money you're spending, well, how do you know that you're not overspending? A budgeting plan is great because at the start, it shows you how much money you have and it shows you where all your expenses are going. It gives you a budget for how much you should be spending. If you're the type of person who wants to buy new clothes, then every paycheck set a certain amount of money that you want to take out to go towards buying new clothes. What I'm trying to say is that the main point of having a budgeting plan is to not only help people who overspend their money, but to help people as well who don't have a plan for their money. Anyone can and should use a budgeting plan because it helps you keep track of where your money is going to. Now, the next reason for why you should have a budgeting plan is because a budgeting plan is like getting a raise. First and foremost, did you like that last example? Did you like that last little scenario I just made? If you like to just raise your hand. I just want to take this time to say, if you actually raised your hand right there, you are a great person. I need you on my squad. So do us both a favor and hit that like and subscription button. I really need you on my team. Oh, you just sub? You just sub? High five.
I just want to take this time to say, if you actually just high-fived right there, you are the greatest of all time.
But seriously, getting back on topic. So how does having a budget plan feel like you're getting a raise? So when you're making a budgeting plan, you're essentially looking at how much money you're making and you're dividing up your money into different categories. Each category has a limit to how much money you are allowed to spend on it. Here's a statistic for you. The average American household spends about $3,000 per year on outside food. Outside food meaning fast food, takeout, and restaurants. Which means on average, if we take that $3,000 and divide it by 12 months in a year, the average person spends about $250 a month on outside food. Now, depending on your lifestyle, that number may be close to what you spend a month or far from it. Unless you're ordering food from a college cafeteria. Like, I'm not kidding about that. For the price of some chicken tenders and some fries, you think you were eating at a Michelin star restaurant. And especially if you're a student athlete, I have seen many times that my sports friends would have to call their parents to put more money on their card because they are hungry. So let's say we made a budgeting plan, and in our food category, we were spending that average of $250 a month on takeout, restaurant, Gordon Ramsay's college cafeteria. So after making our budgeting plan and seeing how much we're spending on food per month, now we think to ourselves, you know what? I'm gonna start making my own lunch. Yeah, I'm gonna start meal prepping. I'm gonna start eating right. I'm gonna start getting better. I'm gonna start saving money. So by doing this effectively and sticking to that plan, let's say we decreased our monthly food bill from $250 a month down to $125, cutting it by half. So by budgeting our food expenses by cutting it in half, we just saved ourselves an extra $125 a month. If we continue to budget and cut out our expenses each month to $125, we're not just only saving $125 a month. Not only are we saving $125 a month, but if we take that $125 and we look at it from a year's perspective, 125 times 12 months in a year, we are saving $1,500 extra a year. That's like a small bonus for some people. That's why I say by you saving money and you budgeting, you're basically paying yourself and giving yourself a raise. Now, I will say this, some expenses are easier to cut down than others. You can cut down on food, but do it in a reasonable way. Don't try to starve yourself just to save money. You still want to be eating healthy food. You still want to limit how much money you're spending outside as much as you can, but don't starve yourself to save money. Really take time to look at what you spend on takeout, what you spend at restaurants, what you spend on fast food, and really just look at it and just see to yourself, well, why am I spending all this money on this when I could just go out and go to the grocery store and I can just make this at home and I can just save money that way. Am I saying that you shouldn't order fast food, go to restaurants, or do takeout? No, you can always just do that, but limit how much you do it by. Is it possible to cut down on an expense like rent? Yeah, it's possible. It would require you to find a roommate, and if you really don't want a roommate, you're gonna have to probably move out and find someplace cheaper to live. Is it possible to cut down on car payments? Yes, but that will require you trading in your car for a car of a cheaper value to get those prices down. Having a budgeting plan really helps you to see where are you financially in terms of what you can spend your money on. Can you spend your money on this item versus this item? Do you really need to buy this purchase? So the next reason for why you need a budgeting plan is because a budgeting plan helps you to keep your money under control. To be great at saving money, you need to know when and where your money is going at all times. You gotta be mad where you don't know where your money is going. You gotta keep tabs on your money. A budgeting plan helps you keep control of your money because you know where it's going and how it's going to be spent. A person who goes to the supermarket with a shopping list already knows what they're gonna buy and how much they're planning to spend. Supermarkets, like other retail stores, are hoping that you come in without no plan because you're more likely to spend more money there. Which brings me into the next reason for why you need a budgeting plan is because a budgeting plan helps you to live within your means. Now, don't get me wrong, the money that I have saved up, I could easily just go ahead and buy some new clothes, I could buy a new phone, I can go on a vacation. Well, I can't go on a vacation because I'm still in quarantine, but you know what I'm talking about. Many people want to live that lavish lifestyle, the fancy trips, the fancy cars, the fancy clothes, that luxury lifestyle. But the only way that you're going to be able to live that lifestyle is if you're able to afford that lifestyle, because that lifestyle does not come cheap. I feel like for a lot of us, especially younger people, our self-value reflects what we own and what we are able to possess. We have the status mentality where we truly believe that some people will like us more if we have more money, if we have more name brand clothes, if we have more expensive stuff, the jewelry, all of those materialistic things? Why buy a new iPhone if your current iPhone's still working? Why buy a Gucci bag if you just can buy a regular backpack? Now am I saying that you can never own these things? No. If you really like that product and support that company and you've saved for it, then by all means, go ahead and buy it. But don't let that purchase define your self-worth. Don't let that purchase define who you are. Whether you own an iPhone or an Android should not determine your self-worth. Whether you're driving the new Tesla or you take public transportation, that shouldn't devalue you in any way. If there's anything that you get out of this video, I do want to leave you with just one quote that I'm gonna say. Don't let name brands define your brand. And the last reason that I have for you guys, which is personally my favorite reason, a budgeting plan helps to set and achieve goals for your money. A reason why this is my favorite reason is because it's affected me personally. If you haven't watched one of my old videos of how I saved $25,000+ while in college, be sure to check that out after this video. And if you also haven't watched my video of why you need to save up for an emergency fund, be sure to watch that as well, because both of those videos have helped me to understand why budgeting is so important. Just to sum up both of those videos, but I do recommend you watch them. I was 18 years old, I had just started college, and I had that feeling of what would happen if I dropped out of college, or what would happen if I became one of those people who end up paying student loans for like 10, 15+ years. So during that time of 18, when I was again making probably about like $9 to $8 an hour at my old job, I started following budgeting plans. I made budgeting plans for food, expenses. A lot of my money went towards saving up for that goal. And each year I was able to save up more than $5,000 actually. I was able to save up $5,000, $6,000. Like my first year of following a budgeting plan for me to get to my goal of saving up at least $30,000 at that point. More like $25,000 now. Now I'm thinking about it. Actually, it's $30,000 now. I was making for the year $7,000 in total, and I ended up saving $5,000. So for me at 18, that was such a big eye-opener. Like, wow, you know, I was able to cut my expenses, I was able to save more, and I'm able to, well, save this much money. But now here I am at 21 years old, who had already paid off half of his student loan while in college, and I'm on track to pay off my entire student loan in about 2 months. That's before I graduate. Actually, that's after I graduate. That's after I graduate. This quarantine is messing with my schedule here. Having a budgeting plan gave me the motivation to want to save more and more money for my goal of paying off my student loans. And you can do that with any goal. Having that budgeting plan really motivated me to want to save more and more money and cut down all my expenses that way I could save more money. Like imagine being 21 with $30,000 before you graduate college. That's a lot of money. I could start my own business. I could go on a vacation. That's a down payment for a house. If you want to go on a nice vacation in about a year, 2 years, you can budget for that. If you want to save up for paying off all your credit card debt, you can budget for that. If you want to save up for a new car, there's a budget for that. Even if you're thinking long term about you want to save up for a down payment on a house, you can budget that. But that's only possible if you start knowing the basics of how to budget. When you start to budget and you start seeing how much you're able to save a month, you start thinking about, wanting to put that money towards something. Me, I put it towards student loans, but I also recently put it towards stock market. A budgeting plan gives you the motivation to want to save up for a goal. And those are my reasons as to why you should have a budgeting plan. But that's all I have for you guys in today's video. Sorry this video took so long. There's been many factors going on in my life right now. It's really been preventing me from getting these videos up. I have a couple of series in mind that I do want to start on this channel, but that requires me to go out. And because of our current situation, I can't really get those series started. My emergency fund update videos I was supposed to get out for you guys, I decided to cancel that only because during this crisis going on right now, I don't know how many of you guys are still working. So I'd rather put that video out when I know at least a good majority of us are working, because I want that series to be able to something that we can both grow together. I grow my emergency fund, you grow your emergency fund, and we can just both talk about it. We can both just document it. Hopefully I was able to inspire at least one of you to start thinking more about how you're spending your money and your money habits. If there's one important skill that I want all of us to come out with during this quarantine, is that I hope that we can all come out to learn more and more about how to properly use our money. Whether that's finding better ways to save money, whether that's finding better ways to cut your expenses. Because once this whole quarantine is over and we're thrown back into the world of consumerism and commercial products, I at least want us to be able to critically think about all of our purchases. And yeah, that's really all I have for you guys today. If you haven't done it already, be sure to dap up the like button, hit the subscribe button down below to stay updated with all my future videos and future updates to the channel. channel. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks, once I graduate and my diploma is gonna come in with a postage stamp, my uploading schedule will become more and more consistent. We are, at the recording of this video, 24 subscribers away from hitting 100 subscribers on YouTube. I really didn't think I was gonna grow this much, but that all just comes from the support that I've been getting from you guys watching my channel. So really thank you to everyone who's taken time to watch my videos. If you've commented, if you've subscribed, if you've shared my videos even, I really appreciate you guys because I'm glad that I'm able to see my community grow. I am also 2 followers away on Instagram from hitting 100 followers on there, so be sure to check out my Instagram at itsvance_. So until next video, hope to see you guys soon. Take care.